Yeah. Well, the bad thing is most people aren't gonna say, "Well, what does that mean? What are you talking about? I
That
don't get
well,
that."
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's what's really slowing um, the learning process for a lot of us. Well, a lot of them, because I'm quick to be like, I don't know what is that. What is I don't know what that is. Explain that to me. Especially when like
The
some
hell
people
you
like
talking
when
about?
yeah, I don't know what the hell you talking about. so so yeah, it's one of those things
Uh,
where you got to make sure you understand what people were saying and not just gloss over the fact that you didn't understand what somebody just said. But you got to be willing not to be, I guess, a know-it-all or act like you know it all or not want to look stupid or however people feel.
and like that's I don't know. I hate to sound like I just be hating to sound like I'm just talking about stuff because I know everything. I don't know everything. There's a lot of shit I don't know. Um, I know the shit that I like that we talk about and we work on, but when you're having the same conversation again with certain people, it's like like it just feels like man, I sound like an asshole
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
it's like I'm an encyclopedia every time I talk to you. Like I don't want to be that. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I don't know. I mean, what's wrong with being yourself? It's different if you're trying to talk up or talk over someone. Um, if you're in a normal, conversation with someone, there's no need to, bring out your $5 words if you don't. There's no need to. If $3 word would do.
Man, it's inflation, man. $5 words is like $15 right now. They might not have
uh,
them $5 words. They might
right.
not get that. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's what it was. It was just like you just going through looking back, like thinking about conversations I've had with people from like work, like phone
Mm-hmm.
calls with owners. That you gotta have to you kind of have to like dance around their feelings and deal with their emotions about certain things because they want to feel like they're the expert.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then just other stuff. And it was just like, what, man, I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
It's like I'm
Y-
just not doing that.
Yeah. You gotta put your foot down. You gotta let your nuts hang.
Because
And
usually, especially with owners, like on the phone, I'm still very like I'm still very straightforward. Like I'll tell them because you don't have a lot of time with them anyway. They don't know you,
right.
so it's like, well, if we got 20 seconds on the call and we disagree on something, or I disagree with something that they say or that they're gonna do or whatever, I'm gonna tell them like I think it's bullshit. I may not
Right.
say it
Right.
that way specifically, but
Mm.
I'll tell them. But sometimes you kind of have to play that game when they're kind of when they're giving you what you need. It's like, oh,
Right.
okay, all right, blah blah blah. But I'm like, you know what, man, I don't care no
Um,
more.
I mean, it's a time. It's different times. You use different tools, and sometimes the hammer works. Um, Sometimes you need a little finesse, and sometimes you know a realization, especially like with cursing. Um, Sometimes a properly placed like curse word like really brings it home. You know,
Mm-hmm.
to be like, no, that's some bullshit. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, it wakes you up, especially if you're not just normally cursing in your normal language. It's like I got to bring it home because I said all the flowery words around it. Now I got to bring it home. And of course, it depends on who you're talking to, of course.
Yeah.
But sometimes it works. It works to bring it on home.
Yeah, it does. It does. I guess
So
we can start now.
yeah, go ahead and do the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the Rich by Monday podcast.
I don't know why you just stole like a real person's whole intro.
Man, because I want him to say it. I'm gonna get a soundboard. I'm gonna get a soundboard for the show, and somehow I'm gonna like sneak record him saying it,
No, you
and I'm
gotta
gonna
just
play it
invite
at the
him.
beginning.
You gotta invite
So,
him and say, "Hey, this is what we doing. We need this intro." You can just let
I
it
mean, I would
play.
have him. I'll have him on the show. We can have him on the show.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that.
He got hella stories.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead and
You
finish
know.
up.
Oh yeah. So
The
I'm
Google,
your host.
you the host,
I'm your host, the Google grad, or
and
Jared Wilkins, aka the Google grad, and
uh, and I'm Dorance. I'm Dorance, or
yeah,
Dorance, or Creighton, one of them. Though they're both my name.
Dorance Creighton or Dorance or Creighton.
Yeah, Dorance or Creighton or Dorance Creighton.
You
uh,
asshole.
this is stupid.
Somebody asks you your name, you tell them all of them. Like you can call me either
All
one.
right.
I go by all of them.
First or last name. I mean, sometimes I know like how people know me based on what year I introduced myself and what name. You know, I think I'm gonna start going with Creighton though, especially over the phone because it matches the branding, and you see the branding on the flyer or in the name, it could just click. Why you laughing at me? I don't see why you laughing.
Because I could just see if somebody somebody get mad and it's like, I need to talk to Creighton. I need to talk to Mr. Creighton. I'm like,
The
sir,
big
that's
one,
me.
the guy on the marquee.
That is
Now I got
me.
him.
I
Now,
am
now I got a
Creighton.
marquee. Also an entertainer. My entertainment name is Creighton. uh,
That's
uh,
hilarious. Oh man, I can see that. I can totally see that.
yeah,
But
but usually
what's going
I'll
on?
just say Dorrance.
What's going on in the world?
I don't know about the world. I'm condensing my world to my world, the whole world to my world. I don't know, man. I'm just just working right now. Working, heavy on the calls today. Actually, I did a lot of um, much needed accounting to see where all this money's going, all the money going out, and I was able to cancel a lot of things I wasn't using or utilizing and save some money. So I was like, oh yeah, I should have did that a long time ago. So that's one of those things that's been on the list.
Yeah, I've been
And
having to do that since like March.
yeah, like all the money I could have actually saved from 6 months of paying
Uh,
payment. I'm like, oh man, this is ridiculous. So yeah, so yeah, don't put things off, ladies and gentlemen. That's not how you get rich by Monday, by not doing your accounting on Sunday.
oh
Oh
man,
man.
I've been look every day. I open it up and I just like I ain't doing this shit.
Oh man. Like literally
I
accounting for where
promise
your
you.
money goes.
I
Like,
promise you, every single day I open it up. I just had it up like 15 minutes ago.
yeah.
I was just looking at
It's
it.
it's it's stressful. It's something you want to do, you do it, and then you feel good that you did it. And usually when it comes to like home or house accounting, like I'm always just I feel beat up afterwards. I'm
Yeah,
just
because
like
you don't want to go through the stuff you did and be like, why you do? I don't want to tell myself
right.
why. Like, why'd you buy like 5 ketchup
Right.
packets the other? Like,
Right,
I don't want to
right,
go through
right.
that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to.
Um
I need to do it.
so I was doing that. I was doing that mostly a day. So actually I didn't really get to a lot of my calls like I needed to. But other than that, um I haven't been drinking lately. Like alcohol, consuming alcohol. I've been just
Did you have a
um
drink at the party?
no, I didn't drink. I didn't drink at the party.
That's probably why you went home. For those of y'all
Uh,
who don't know, Dorance, if you watch the 85 South show, there's an episode where Rick Ross leaves the episode early. Dorance showed up to a party, got a water bottle, sat down for about 15 minutes, and dipped.
no, it was more than that. They had the
And then
charcuterie board. I love charcuterie board. I tore that board up. I had a few water bottles, like at least
and
four.
then sent the message like I'm out, which he probably sent when he was already like at home. He was already at home like
No,
I'm
I
out.
was I was probably in the car. I was probably in the car.
Yeah,
Like I should let somebody know I didn't just get kidnapped. So
man, because some people they was waiting on you to come back.
man, I sat down for a minute and I had ate and I chilled and I didn't bring my it was a pool party for shout out Quan his birthday.
Yeah, his birthday.
Happy birthday. Um and you know um sat there, ate, chilled for a minute. Most people got in the pool and I had my trunks. And I was like, I'm pretty close to home. I can go get them. But I was like, if I go home, I'm not coming back out. So I sat for a minute and I was like, I'm gonna just chill. And something in my head said, just go home. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, that was sobriety. That's what it was. It was sobriety. It was like
uh,
go home.
right. I was
You not
like,
drunk yet.
I was like, you go home. Go home. I was like, all right. So, but it was cool. It was a cool party. Got to see the homies and chop for a minute. Um, but I mean, by the time I left, it was going all the way up. So by the time I left, nobody would have known I was there or left or
You know
or
what's
even
funny? I
there at all.
outside of outside of maybe like one, maybe one or two people. I don't think they even. I don't even think they knew.
No, when you that up, it's all the way up. It's just like even you saying all right, bye. It's like I ain't gonna remember that. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna remember that. I don't know.
yeah. It
That
was
might
cool.
be
It's
my
always
that might
cool.
be my new exit. Just be gone.
Well, well,
Don't
then
need to make a
I
fuss
know to.
about it.
I know I need to drive everywhere we go now.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I wouldn't
if you're just
leave.
gonna be leaving,
I don't
man,
know.
I, yeah, I.
No. But
But
yeah,
anyway,
what's been up with you?
I've been so I've been like, well, we talked about it last season, but I've been not really keeping up, but I kind of just been laughing at all the PPP stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun to watch. It's fun to
Mm-hmm.
watch because you hear all the crazy stuff
You
like.
like to watch it all burn.
It's just funny because it'd be
It's pretty
like
sadistic.
it'll be like a dude. It'd be like a dude who's like, yeah, I run so and so like textile, and it'll be like the one that or the one that been getting a lot of people caught up is like a farm, like a farming company,
Uh,
but the address is like in the projects.
with no farmland, no farmland,
so
nowhere near.
um so I just kind of liked it. I just thought it was entertainment. It was funny, and I
Mm-hmm.
never I never thought like I never thought that they would be able to like prosecute all those people in a certain way because
Mm-hmm.
just because of how much like how many people it was, and
Mm-hmm.
then just I don't know, I just didn't think it would be like that, but apparently like this is real, like they're really giving people like 10 years for this.
Yeah, it's wild. I think there's a lot of people. They took a lot of money, like millions. It's like
No, they took billions.
I'm talking about like individual people. Like, yeah, I got five
Oh
million,
yeah,
2 million.
yeah.
That's a lot of money.
I was just listening to a lawyer. I was listening about a lawyer who took 2.5 million.
Yeah, that's crazy. Damn,
And
my little few thousand. I was like, I was thinking like, man, it's dang. I guess I.
two and a half, 2.5 million. And there was another dude. There's like police officers, um, pastors, naturally,
Yeah.
um, all kind of people. One dude got like $9.5 million. I'm like, what is going on? Like yeah,
Wow.
it's funny but like, I understand like the money, the money is there. Some people are gonna be like, well, I'll take the chance. But like, what is going on
What
to
did
where
you
you
need?
need $9 million from the government?
Maybe they thought they was gonna flip it. Now, well, I wonder if these people ever thought they were gonna actually pay it back.
It doesn't matter if you flip it because the loan on the application it tells you. So there's like three things on the app because I read it. I went back and read it
Mm-hmm.
once I seen how severe all this stuff
Mm-hmm.
was gonna be. So on the app it tells you you must have a business, an operational business,
Right.
prior to a certain date.
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. Number two, they allow you to self-certify all the information, but they still collect like your IP address and everything else in case they have to revisit your
Mm-hmm.
application.
Right. Right.
And um, they also said how they're going to keep in contact with the banks. And what's been happening is the banks have actually been like cooperating and sending them information on certain
Right.
accounts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So I also learned that they hired a group of forecasters. Right now, people ain't gonna like this because this is gonna sound like some conspiracy type stuff. forecasters to oh crap, what happened?
It flipped.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You know what I'm about to do? This is what I'm about to do. Okay, I did it. But they hired a group of forecasters, and the forecasters actually could like kind of predict where the largest amount of like fraud would come from.
Mm. A reverse redlining.
See, I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you.
I think
So,
they slick.
so that was the seeing that was like just I remember reading the app like we'll self certify it, but one beyond a certain amount will trigger an automatic audit, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll keep track of certain data in case we have to revisit your file. And I was
Man,
like,
nobody
oh,
wasn't
okay.
reading that. Nobody wasn't reading all that, all them prints.
But I think
It
they
was like, how
were.
much can I do it? How much can I get? And a lot of people were actually having outside third party sources like
Yes, yes.
uh, submit the application. So if somebody says, "Hey, I can submit the application for you for a few $1,000s, and I'm gonna get you X amount," 20,000, 30,000, 40, whatever it is, they'll do that. And most likely they're not reading. They're not reading that fine print,
So
any print. They're not reading the big print. They probably didn't see the application.
you know what's messed up about that though is that a lot of people who did that didn't realize the amount of money that they actually got.
What you
So
mean?
if they had a third party like submit the app for them saying, "Oh, I can get you 20,000, blah blah blah," well, that person would actually submit the app and say they have like 200 employees, right? Because the payout was based on how many employees you have.
Right.
So they would say they have like 200 employees. They would get like a $500,000 and only give
Mm-hmm.
them 20.
Mm. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's a
So
fraud within a fraud.
it's all fraud. If you didn't have an operational business with employees, this government, like, can we be
Yeah.
adults? Like, really? Like, can we just like? I know it's all fun and games. I'd be laughing and shit. Can we really be adults? Because I remember talking to certain people. Because I know a few people who did it.
No.
Right. I know of people who did it, and I was like, yo, man, you should probably like relax on that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it might seem cool right now, but just if it's like a last like worst case scenario, like I gotta feed my family, we dying or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but you're not
Okay,
dying and
I
need
feel
$9 million. Half a
okay,
million dollars,
but
$500,000.
I'm just
I
saying
mean,
if
just
that's you, I feel bad for you because if something does happen to you, and all you were trying to do was make life easier for your family, and that was like the last thing you could, you know,
yeah, of
you
course.
could the last effort, then like that's terrible. Um, but for the most part, these people were calling everybody broke and stupid for not taking the money. So,
Yeah.
and and what I notice now is like a lot of the comments and just a lot of the chatter around the subject is, oh, y'all weird because y'all want people to go to jail.
Mm.
And it's like, no, we were actually trying to keep you out of jail.
Who is this? I don't know who are these people?
These are just this is the chatter. Like when you watch I pay attention to this kind of stuff because
Mm.
I'm
Are you saying like
online. I'm
something
thinking
like
about topics for the show.
let's say something
Yeah,
post and it says
just go read the
okay,
comments.
yeah, the comment, that's what I was gonna say. You just
Hmm.
there's a post and then you read the comments and people like responding on how they feel on that topic
Yeah,
on that post.
on every
Um,
single post. Yeah, or or if you really want to go down the rabbit hole, just type in the hashtag on Twitter, or type in
my
the word on Twitter,
my
and then
my
it'll
thought is,
populate.
what's the makeup of these people in the comments, and why do we give so much weight to what they think in their chatter? Um, these are like, who are these people? Who are these people? Um, why are we taking in their Jada?
Yes.
Hi.
You can't have nothing. You can't have nothing. Where's your mom?
uh,
I'm okay. I promise I'm okay. Okay, but I'm okay.
She rolled up.
Where's your mom? Okay, well, go by your mommy.
She rolled
Jada,
up.
I'm live. I'm
Hi.
I'm live. I'm live right now, babe. I guess we gotta. Yeah, so we had a special guest,
Right.
my 3-year-old daughter. Um,
Yeah, but
both to
so
go back to what you were saying,
I was
why do we
talking.
give them credit, or
Yeah,
why do we give their words so much weight?
yeah, if we're looking at a random, I'm assuming this is Twitter or wherever, or um, a Twitter comment, like we give so much weight to the chatter in the comments, and it seems like we make that um, what the world is saying or what is
Mm-hmm.
generally being saying about a topic, and I don't know. I guess I don't know. Is it just gossip at that time at that point?
Well, yeah, I mean it's all gossip, but it's I think I think because especially on Twitter, because Twitter will actually show you like who you follow, like who
Right,
you follow, who said something or who liked it.
right. I
And
noticed that.
Instagram will show you like in the comments if it's somebody you follow, you'll see their comments pop up first.
Right, right,
So
right.
it's a little bit of everything mixed in with people you know you're seeing them talk about. Um, and it's just the general conversation,
Yeah.
that happens. I don't think it's a well, it is though, because you got to think like how many people are active on the internet. Like
Hmm.
Facebook has like 2.8 billion people, daily active users, like
Hmm.
across the whole world. That's a lot of people. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah, it
third
is.
of the entire like Earth's population. That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, that's all of Facebook, but that's not all the people who was in the comments, on this
No, of
specific
course
topic.
not. Of
But
course not.
I just wonder, um, I don't know, I just wonder how much weight do we put on um, the people in the comments as like our sounding board to like these things. It's like now I have to respond to Joe Schmo 859 Dunko Berry.
Who like yeah, I hate people with names like that.
So
Like you
now you got
shouldn't
to
even
have
be here.
a real conversation.
Yeah, like you shouldn't even be here, bro. Like they should ban your account.
And then it's like you just never know because internet it can be trolls. I see like a common thing on Twitter where somebody makes a comment and somebody just makes like they just post a meme and then they're like always trying to ratio the person or basically get more likes than the
That's
person who
Twitter.
just
Yeah,
commented.
that's
And I'm just like, what is this? Like, when did this happen? So I don't know. I don't
nah.
know. It's just like,
Twitter's his own thing.
at one point, like, are these comments troll or do we have to like really think of every comment as truth? Like, this is what people think about
Nah,
this.
I don't. I wouldn't take it as truth, but you can definitely see like what those people say is how many people feel, even if they don't say it. Like I don't really interact and engage in the comments, but
Right.
I could tell based on like when it shows me, so and so like this, so and so like this, so and so followed. I can tell like, oh, this is how these people actually feel, and sometimes people and you follow speak up about it.
Right.
Like
Right. Sometimes
I've had
I wish I didn't know a lot of people's thoughts on a lot of things.
I agree. I've had people like when I brought it up before, and it was like, even it was joke like it was a joking matter. Like I'm laughing, like it's like TV at this point. It's like a TV show.
Right.
And I've had people reach out to me and say, well, why is it that they're only arresting like African Americans,
Mm-hmm.
or why is it that African Americans are the only people who seem to be targeted? And it's I don't know. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't work for the FBI, but I've seen everybody get targeted and arrested and all that. But that it becomes a thing. That's why I said, can we be adults? Like every time something happens, that's why I think we'll never have anything serious, or we'll never be able to take anything serious because of like whataboutism.
Mm-hmm.
Because now just based on like what we're talking about now, someone someone will say and has said, oh well, the government, manipulates our tax dollars all the time, or they stole this
Yeah.
land, or any all those things.
Yeah, yeah, that's a common tactic for someone to you bring up one issue and then they say now they jump off that issue and say, well, what about this issue? And I forget what you call that, but um,
Whataboutism.
it's you call it bullshit. You're trying to bullshit me. You're trying to manipulate me. But yeah, and I think that's what makes it hard to actually have a real conversation. Like you say, like, can we be adults? I think what you're asking for is for people to have a real conversation on one topic and not say, well, it's like the whole thing where they'll bring up like let's just say one person went to jail for this crime and then got this amount of time, and then this person did the same crime and got this amount of time,
Hmm.
and um, that may be true, and it may be unfair, but we also have to realize that a crime was still done. There's crime still happened, right? So even
Hmm.
though the justice is unfair, 100% it is. If we had the real conversation about um, let's not do crime, let's try to have some other different programs available, maybe to for people involved or whatever. Um, but it's always getting off. I think what the issue is, it gets you off of the thought or idea that um, you do have some control on what you do personally, or what
Hmm.
we do personally as a community, right? Because we can't at this point we kind of know if anything goes wrong, we gonna get the short end of the stick. We're gonna get the most time. We're gonna get beat up. We're gonna get the hardest you know the hardest and harshest punishment that's available. We know that to be a thing. So why keep saying like, oh man, y'all always punish us worse? It's like why don't we
Well,
get in front of it and like do something different rather than complain
well,
about what comes down, because we already know it's gonna come down.
but that's because that's because you're a thinking man, Dorance. But that's what I'm talking about. You're an adult.
Yeah,
This
that's what I
this is
know.
this is
I'm
what
I'm, I'm agreeing with.
is yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, that's what it is. It's like, it, why do we keep having like, why are we fighting for the shit that don't matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are, like, people, like, again, they're talking about, oh, the government does it all the time. You're not the government.
Yeah.
If you were the government, then you can do that.
Well,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
why are we spending so much time like caring about or fighting for that kind of stuff? Like, use it, use that to use whatever the rules are to your advantage, to put yourself in position to enact change. Like, we can have feelings, we can be upset about certain things, all that is fine, but it doesn't do anything. Feeling about something doesn't do anything. Like, I've never seen feelings change anything on a large scale. Like, somebody said, I feel this. Well, no, today's world, yeah, it kind of does happen that way. But
Well, I
it's
think in some cases it sparks, like a feeling sparks motivation, but motivation is not like forever.
yeah,
I
but
think
it
the
still takes
consistency
dollars.
is what you need. The consistency in getting across a message or solving a problem, because everybody gets mad for change for a minute, you know, for a moment. Like, oh, I'm mad this happened. Why is this going down? And then they just go on there and they comment about it. This is how I feel about it. And then they go on about their lives. Um, that's not consistency in terms of what changed. For what you just complained about, I feel like you should even complain if you're not willing to go the extra step. You should just keep it to yourself. I do that often. I'm like, yeah, that's messed up. But if I don't have no money to pitch in or my own effort to pitch in, I really don't even
It's nothing you
like
can do.
complain about it or voice my concern about it. Or maybe it's just not in money or effort. Maybe it's in whatever you're good at, right? Maybe it's you write a blog or whatever, a think piece, or you do a video essay or something, or some type of art that expresses how you feeling. So I don't want to just limit it to like just money and effort, like I don't know, just being on the picket line or whatever it is, or protesting in person. But with that being said, if I'm not willing to put my effort, whatever my my talent is behind my anger, then I just need to shut the hell up, you know, because I didn't do nothing, you know, I didn't do anything. That's for me though. That's for me, you
I
know.
agree.
That's
I
just how I
agree.
do things. But
I
when
don't
I'm
see
really
the need
mad,
to
if you're
be.
really mad for change, it's like okay, everything everything has to change from the bottom up.
And one thing that kind of made me think about that is so earlier, was it it might have been this week or it might have been last week. There was somebody put out an article. I don't know where it was from. Um, I guess it doesn't matter. But somebody put out an article in relation to AOC, right, and her supposed net worth. So um, I forgot what the article said or how it was worded, but the headline was something to the extent of, like AOC and her, her $32 million net worth or something like that. And then so the discussion around that then becomes, no, that's not true. She's got. I don't really know much about her personal life, but they mentioned how she's got student loans and some other things, so her net worth is whatever she says it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was one guy who was part of the discussion, and he said no, actually, it's different because she has oh no, that money is campaign funds, not her personal money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So then now everybody's like following up or following behind that theory, like, oh yeah, that's the money for her to do her job, basically. That
Okay.
shouldn't count as net worth. That's like her $30 million,
Endowment
war
fund,
chest.
whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and I thought that was interesting because as much as those same politicians make you hate people who have anything more than like $10, um, is actually the same. Like even as much as we talk about Elon Musk, like I don't hate Elon. I just think he's funny. I think it's funny to talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
But Elon doesn't have any money. He just has Tesla. How is it different? Like he has Tesla to make, and the money in Tesla, or he uses the money from Tesla, to make Tesla grow, basically.
Okay.
How is
I'm
it different
missing.
from?
Go ahead.
I'm saying, how is that
Um,
different?
I was missing the correlation between.
Because people who, okay, so again, we were talking about people who do the whataboutism,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then leading into some other stuff. But I brought up the whole AOC thing because it kind of shows the contradiction in people's like perspectives. Well, they'll support someone like AOC who has $30 million at her disposal, which I'm sure it's more than that. I don't know where that article came up. I could be making that number up completely.
Which
But
people, just to get a baseline, who's against
people
or for
who
this?
people no people who support her and support people like her.
Who are the people though?
It's people. I don't know. I don't
Is,
work for the
are,
Democratic Party.
sorry, are you saying like Democrats?
Yeah, of course. That's her base.
Okay, I'm just trying to get a baseline
Well,
because
because if I come
this
on
could
here and
just be
say that,
This could just be random
nah, because
comment
your
Twitter
brother already
people,
calls me the Monopoly man. Like I don't
right?
need people thinking I'm out here calling people snowflakes and all kind of other stuff.
Well, I mean,
Like,
it's just the thing. We either gotta say something, say what we saying, or don't say it at all. You know.
yeah, you're right.
So
You're
it's
right.
like we can't play the fence. And
Yeah,
then
you're
it's
right.
just it
Okay,
makes sometimes it makes it hard for people to follow. You know,
but I
because
know it's not just
whimsical people,
it's not just dem. It's not just Dems because like
Dems.
yeah,
That
Dems.
seems so
That sounds
ridiculous.
worse, don't it? That sounds worse. It's not just Democrats. It's people who it's younger people like because
right.
her what she represents is bigger than like a political party. You know what I mean? It's a young woman. She's a minority,
Mhm. Right.
and you know what I mean. So it's bigger than that. So there's people who follow her and support her, but don't necessarily align like with her views.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think it's interesting that it's okay for her to have, you know, X amount of dollars at her disposal to, act like and pretend she's getting arrested and whatever else. And but then you have public enemy over here, Elon Musk, who just has his money over here and he's just building his car company and selling whatever else he feels like selling. But they'll tell you that's different. And I'm like, how's that different? They're both using something to fund their lifestyle and their ambitions.
Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I see no difference. One difference is one actually works for the public sector, so I think there's a little more scrutiny on where the funds are going. I mean, even Elon Musk kind of works for the public too, and the shareholders, I would say. But shareholders and the actual voting public is just different. So,
But
I,
so the
I,
reason why I brought this up though is because it was okay for her to have $30 million.
so you're
Like
saying
that was
no one made a fuss. It was like, oh, okay,
no, no, it was okay.
right.
It was like, no, we understand that's not her money. That's for
Mm-hmm.
whatever she does during the day.
So you're saying people in Elon's camp are people who talk about Elon Musk,
Those
um,
same people who hate Elon because there
because
should be no such
he
thing
has
as
something. Well, I
yes
think just the amount of money, just those amount of in dollar amounts, 32 million is nothing compared to, um, you know, Elon
billions of
Musk money.
dollars. Yeah, but
So
does he have the money?
no, I think it's mostly just shareholder money. But I
That's what
don't
I'm
know.
saying.
I don't know. I also don't know though.
If he doesn't liquidate anything, he doesn't have the money.
Yeah.
So like how is it different if AOC doesn't throw $10 million at her next campaign? Like she doesn't have that money, but she has it to work.
Yeah.
Same with
I
Elon.
see that correlation just so way off from me. But just because
Because
just
of
the dollar
dollar
amounts,
amounts? I don't think so.
mostly the dollar amounts. Um, and
Bro,
then
the
the
Clintons
fact
are
that
making hundreds of millions of
and
dollars
and then the
a
fact that
year.
she works for the public sector, actual people, and Elon Musk works for you know,
The people.
but the
The
intent of the
crypto
money,
bros.
this the intent of the money is just to make more money. If you're looking at a politician, the intent of the money is to make change, like actual
Is it?
policy change.
Is it?
Well, that's what the intent usually is,
I think
and
the
it
intent is to make more money as well.
and that's for both. That's for both. If you're on the Democratic side or Republican side,
I know.
that
I think the
money is
money is to make
usually
more money.
yeah. Well, you need more money to make to make more policy change. But I don't know. I don't know. I think
I think the money's used to make more money in both. Sir, I don't see a difference. Like they just did the what is it called? The Inflation Reduction Act,
mm-hmm.
and part of it is like a 1% tax on stock buybacks.
Yeah,
So
I read a little bit of it.
companies who buy back shares will have to pay it, and like that's ridiculous. So they got to pay a tax to the government. So they
Right.
use money. They spent money to create this whole initiative to make more money. It's all the same.
Yeah, I seen that most of a lot of stuff was like really like the green initiative. Um a lot of things that help with um what is it? The green economy and all that type of stuff. It's kind of like the Green New Deal, but wrapped in different packages. But I didn't finish it
Oh
though.
yeah.
I didn't finish it, but um, I did think about all the money that's going into renewable energy or clean energy or
Mm-hmm.
whatever would be an opportunity to a lot of opportunity for businesses that can provide that green energy or whatever it is. Since the dollars are going to start coming, going to start flowing in. I probably won't go into it, but I kind of picked my industry and I'm out. But I mean, in terms of, I mean, maybe stock picks or something. Maybe that's something to look into. That money might start flowing that way now.
I mean, it kind of has been for the past, I don't know, but really for this past year. The thing that I find interesting about that though is like I was reading an article um, might have been yesterday, about how they cut down like a bunch of trees to make
Mm-hmm.
room for like to make room for turbines.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always pro not cutting down trees. I mean, you think I mean think that would be normal, since we all
Uh,
breathe oxygen. Um,
I gotta
you know,
find that. I can't remember. I don't remember where it was. I think it was like in Arizona somewhere. I don't know, but they cut down like hella trees to make room for turbines.
it had so much room in Arizona to just put up some turbines. I don't think I've ever seen a tree in Arizona. All I see is hot. It's hot and rock. It's hot lava rock out there.
Yeah, yeah, them sun rays big as hell over there.
Yeah.
But man, so
Um,
I don't, man, why would you cut? It's supposed
it's
to be
like
some
the
environmentally safe thing, and you cut down trees to bring in electricity. Like I don't know, but
I mean,
I
you
don't
would
know.
think that, I mean, the grid is going to have to grow if we're going to be like living off of solar power. Like we're going to have to like expand like the electrical grid to like handle all the power that's incoming. So I
Yeah,
just wonder
but
where that's
so
going to go. And
it'll be from the same companies who have it
what's
now. That's why like all this stuff is bogus.
I need
The power plants and everything they'll put off more CO2 than they have before, just making the products.
I don't know. That's out of my knowledge base.
I'm telling you, like I'm telling you, that's what it is. So,
Yeah.
like it's not.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
not. I'm not theorizing. I'm telling you, like the in order to make the stuff, the same people have to make it. They're gonna have bigger factories that run on fossil fuels, putting out more CO2
Yeah. Well,
to
that's on
to
them.
make us feel
I know
like.
they have like so many like CO2 emissions they have to stay under. Didn't they pass that or did they overturn
Nah,
that?
I don't know. I don't know that. I don't know.
So I would have to look into that and see if you can't go over a certain amount of CO2 level if you do have one of these big big companies.
I mean, I'm sure they can get past it. I mean, the Clippers got past it, and they play basketball. Like,
This just in: Clippers play basketball.
they play basketball. They don't do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like they got past it. They were
Right.
able to bypass some environmental stuff. They went to court for it and won still, but they were able to do it. So why wouldn't somebody else?
What was their issue? I
And
mean, what was that about?
they were
They
able to
had too many
begin.
lights on.
No, they got approval for their plan, like their development, without doing an environmental study,
Mm,
like on the land and whatnot, because they were saying it would take too. They were saying it would take too long to do it, and the time frames wouldn't, match up or whatever.
yeah,
But
that's why you need that war chest. A little bit of money to grease some palms.
well, that's Ballmer. Steve Ballmer got he that's all him. He's a billionaire, and
Yeah.
he was working in conjunction with the mayor, and the mayor runs city council. He really runs city council on his own. So they were able to get that done. The city, somebody sued him. I can't remember who, but it's all online. It's like Murphy. I think the name of the company was Murphy's Bowl or something like that. If you just Google
Mm,
that, all the court docs will come up,
mm,
and you'll be able to see like the whole process, how it played out. And then they were found guilty, but I think they were found guilty outside of like the time frame necessary.
mm,
So like the case was thrown out or something like that.
mm.
Like they had like 45 days to prove it, and they didn't find out until like day 48, something like that.
Uh,
Which is something that will probably happen to Donald Trump in the raid on his house.
did you see? A lot of people are. There's been a few attacks, on the FBI based on based on that search warrant that was held at his house, Mar-a-Lago.
No,
You didn't see
I knew
that?
like some people organized, but I didn't know they was like.
No, like
I
somebody
didn't know it was like
somebody
real
crashed
attacks.
an actual car into like the FBI. Uh, no, we're at the Capitol. That was earlier last week, and then it was a. And I don't know if it was the same guy, but the guy he can no, I think it was the same guy. He crashed into the Capitol building, got out yelling crazy, started shooting, and then he ended up shooting himself. And his
Nah, I
whole
ain't hear that.
manifesto was online, where he was on Trump's platform. I think it's Truth.com or something
Oh,
like
true.
that.
So you
Truth.
know, what? I'm about to get an account. Yo, he put
Yeah,
out a
I was like,
video.
you gotta watch them. You gotta
He
watch
put
these
out a
people.
he put out a video on there. Somebody like put it on Twitter, and it was like he was dropping like the most fire album ever. Like it was like a promo
Saying
clip.
Trump.
Yeah, it was like a promo clip with like all kind of inspirational music, and you could tell somebody actually wrote his speech this time.
Mm,
And I was like, man, this is terrible because this is gonna
no,
work for
like
some people.
well, it is. It's igniting the base in a whole different way,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep calling for like civil war, and now you got people like Marjorie Green, I think it is,
Mm-hmm.
who said
Defund the
defund the
FBI. Yeah.
FBI. Now this is odd. Okay, just maybe a year ago. I don't know. I've lost track of time. There was a call to defund the police, and then it was like, no, we can't do that. Use different wording. Use reallocate the funds. Da, 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 da. And now they're using the same words, the same phrases, defund the FBI based on something that they don't like or they don't like or they don't agree with. How could you not agree with like an actual warrant from the court to search a house, and then you search the house, and then you find the shit you were searching for? Like, wait, what?
Well,
And then I think it
they
came
don't
out
believe
they
they don't
took some
believe nothing
stuff
is
out.
real.
They took
Yeah.
some stuff out, and then I think they had to do a second time. No, it was either he gave some stuff up, and then it was like, this don't look like it's all it. So then they got the search warrant and went in, and then took some more stuff. And it was like in the basement somewhere deep,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like uh, it was classified information on
Yeah,
war,
but
like on nuclear stuff.
he said he declassified it. he, he said he said it's not classified no more. I declassified it.
Because I said it. Man, he's a slippery dude, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he got out of it still. Like, it seemed like nothing sticks with this guy. But but yeah, I think they're really like inciting. So yes, places like that where, and this is the dangerous part about kicking people off like these mainstream platforms, because they go into the corner these crevices and corners, and then they're able to plot in darkness and cover. And I think unfortunately, I think we're gonna see a lot more of it, because these people built up a lot of angst around this, and they're in the bubble. They're in that bubble, the feedback loop. And I think you really believe, after so many times of hearing the same thing over and over around the people you're around, you start to believe it. You know, people really creating their own reality in
I mean,
spite of
because
what's going on around them.
you kind of live in a vacuum. Because
Yeah,
if everything if everything you take in, just like you were saying, why do we give so much weight to the comments and stuff like that? But you see what it leads to, because those people, they live by that. So even if it's not like it's bogus and it doesn't mean anything to us, like for us it could be entertainment or something to scroll by and say, and laugh at, or just be like, that's crazy. But for a lot of people, like, they really believe that. They believe the election was like stolen. And even if it
yeah,
was, just to say, even if it was, right? Because I don't know, we don't know. But even if it was, that doesn't mean you discount everything else that happens. like,
well, we
like
do know
stealing
we
some
had like
information.
a legitimate election, and even looking into ballot fraud or whatever, looked into it. They did it, and it was no results. So it's not like it's just up in the air. Like, oh yeah, we said that one thing and then they just glossed over it and went over it and went on to another topic. Like, no, they actually
Mm-hmm.
went to go look at it and found no results. So it's at some point it's like when when do we collectively agree on one reality? Um, and I just don't think that's likely for 100% of us. But I mean, come on, can we get to 60, 65, 70% of people? Is like,
Nah, man.
this is how the world is. This is how, not how I view the world, how I see it, but this is how it actually is.
But that's what I be saying. Like, can we be adults? Like, can we talk? Can we agree? Like, or can we have conversations about on like objective facts
I don't
without,
know.
you know what I'm saying? Because if you start, I remember when I was at PM when I was working with my dad, and they loved Donald Trump, and I think he did get elected when I was there the first time. I think he got elected. So, or the only time.
Yeah,
Either
it's
he
only
was
once.
running. No, I think he was running. I think that's what it
That
was.
was
He
that
was
was
running because
2016, so 15 maybe.
because so yeah. So I was there during Obama's 8 year run. I was there,
Mm-hmm.
and they hated Obama, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Trump ran that time before, but he lost. But they voted for him. They were like big on Trump or whatever. And anytime somebody would say something about him or what he did, they'd be like, "Well, what about Obama? Obama's worse."
Yeah, the what Obamas,
Um,
what Obamas,
yeah,
what about Obamas? The whatisms.
and like it just I don't know. It's weird. It's like they just attach themselves to. I'm not that way. I can't just be like I'm blindly um, believing or following in something or someone to that degree. I can't do that. And it was always weird when we have conversations about one
You,
thing and they automatically go to like the other person. Like we're not even. It's like LeBron and Kobe.
you know, you know, you know what they call that? Where because I have that same thing too, where I can't blindly just follow one thing that's prepackaged and says, "Hey, here you go. This is what to think. This is how you do things, and this is what's going on." They call it philosophical suicide
Mm,
to say, "Well, I'll accept this prepackaged way of thinking, this prepackaged way of life, the do's and don'ts, and I'm going to just follow this." Right? We see it in religion. We see it in like cultish religions, like which is what I would consider like the Trumpism or the QAnon, all these different
mm-hmm.
like different tribes and cultures that people adhere to and just stay with. Um, uh, Philosophical suicide is to just say I'm going to just go with the flow. I'm going to accept everything you're telling me, and I will live my life that way. It's very difficult to build your own um, world outlook and worldview from scratch and say, well, what do I think based on my research and my time sitting with things and questioning things and researching things. It's hard to do that. It's very difficult. It's super difficult to do that. And I know a lot of people aren't willing to do it because it takes you so far out of the boundaries of what's safe and what feels good, what feels right and just, and all these different things. And it just leaves you out here to figure it out on your own. Um, but I like it. I like it here, because to not do that um, would be disingenuous to my thoughts,
Yeah.
my thoughts and my questions. But I understand that people won't do that. So
Do you think that has something to do with like? Cause I was thinking about it today, like just lumping it all together and like the whole like the PPP thing and like the back and forth between like this group and that group. Do you think it has uh do you think it has anything to do with like long term exposure to poverty?
um, I think yeah, I think that's a lot. I think that's part of it for sure.
Because it's like what leads you to believe in the extremes unless you live in the extreme anyway?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. You're living in a survival mode. When you're on survival mode, it don't matter what you do. There's no thought process. It's food to mouth. That's the only thing you're thinking about. You know, that's how you think it. Food to mouth. Like when you
Oh
hungry,
man.
you're not thinking about you know what's right and what's wrong and ethics and jail time and going down the line and thinking what happened in a year. It's like no, I got to eat today. I'm not thinking about getting caught 6 months down the line. I
Yeah.
don't care if Joe Budden put his glasses on and said we coming for you.
Joe
I got to eat
Budden.
today.
President Joe Budden.
I don't know why I keep calling him Joe Budden.
Yeah, he might as well be. Shit. But
uh, but yeah,
um,
I think that's a good point. That for sure, for sure, it's operating
but
in
then but then it's
in
like the thing that's fascinating for that, like about that to me, is why is so much about poverty propagated amongst like society? Like meaning like why is it why is the presence of like a poverty mindset in a way, or we're only thinking about things this way, like if the long-term effects of that cause us to make poor decisions, um you know, gamble to the highest levels of, you know, the highest extremes, why is it so present even amongst people who aren't necessarily or who wouldn't be seen as impoverished, you know? Like
I
I
mean
was listening
that's
to an interview. I was listening to an interview, and that's a deep ass question, I know. But I was listening to an interview with what's his
yeah.
name?
I was gonna say before you go into that, we have to redefine what poverty is. You know, because poverty is just not just the amount of money you make a year. The poverty mindset can be in somebody who makes 500,000 a year. You know, but go ahead. I think I have more thoughts on that.
Well, well, it's kind. What I'm about to say is kind of in line with that. So there was an interview with you know who Vlad is, right? Like Vlad TV.
Right.
So he interviewed Iman Shumpert, and he's a basketball player.
Hmm.
And I don't know if I might have talked about this. I don't know. Maybe this was on the Lost episode that we never put out. But he was him and Vlad are just kind of just talking about like the pitfalls of being in the league, how to avoid certain financial mistakes, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, because something I didn't know, like that I recently heard, was like 80% of ball players go broke. Like
Okay. I
I
heard
didn't
that
even know
about
that.
football players. I didn't know basketball players, but I mean that makes
Yeah, like
sense.
but 80% is a lot, and
Yeah.
basketball players make like generational money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like generational money. So I was like, wow. And Vlad, I forgot how they got on the. They were just getting on the topic of different things they buy, like you know, buying property, buying whatever,
Hmm.
and I think Iman brought up cars, and Vlad, like myself, he's like, you know, I lease all my cars, blah blah blah, and
Hmm.
Iman was like, you know, don't. He was like, don't tell people that, like, we gotta be. He's like, we gotta, you know, we gotta tell the truth. Like, ownership is the key, or something like that. So Vlad is like, well, why do I need to own it? Like, why do I need to own the car? And he's like, well, if you own it, like, then you could, you could rent it out. You could put it on a movie set. I could put it on Turo, right, or whatever, right? And it's like this is a guy who's probably made his last couple of years $8 million a year
All right.
or more.
He's concerned himself with
He
okay.
with renting his car on Turo.
I mean, I mean, I know people do well. I don't know people, but
I know one guy who did
I've
well,
seen
and
I've
that's
seen
it.
documentaries of people who no, it wasn't a documentary. I think this was something on Instagram or something. Made it more than what it was.
It was an instant mentary.
Right, it was a new thing. But I think it was kind of like a business spotlight, and it was saying a guy who got like a 2016 Rolls Royce or something for like 120,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I may have the years and numbers wrong, but but he rented that out for that year and made like 350 or something like that, um, which is great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know the ins and outs of it and what the overhead is and the maintenance and all that stuff. I just, it's not the business for me, but I can see why somebody would say that. I mean, because that is a thing, people renting cars to movie sets or
Yes.
for whatever
Yes.
these type of things. So,
It
um,
is. I understand that.
but those are two different things. If someone's saying I'm using it for my personal use and I'm going to lease this car for a year and a half, and then get another car because that suits their needs, and that's different than the person who says I'm going to buy this car and it's going to be a business, right?
No, but what I'm
For
saying,
lack of a better word.
I'm glad you said that, because that's not what he's saying. See, someone, this is what I mean, right? By the impoverished mindset, someone is telling them why they do things a certain way. Like, I'm doing this because of this, and
Hmm.
his response is, "Oh, well, that's not right.
Right,
You
right,
have to do it this way,
right.
because
Yeah,
then I can do this." He's not even saying I'm doing it. He's saying you have to do it this way because then I could turn it into an asset.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have to do it this way.
That's just a
That's
different.
totally different.
That's a different. Yeah, that's different from we doing different things. Why?
Like,
That's okay.
you're a guy who's made tens of millions of dollars. Why is your car on Turo? So
Yeah, I mean,
somebody in his corner is not doing their job.
hmm
Like, that's what I'm getting to, right? It's you have to. There's no reason why you make $10 million and me and you should be in the same industry.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, a guy who's fresh out of high school has the same business as you, the same business model. That shouldn't happen.
yeah. I mean, I get that. Yeah,
You don't grow
that's
yourself
absurd.
to a certain point to stay here and be like, oh, and come back to your neighborhood and say, yeah, I put this on Turo. Like,
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. And then, now he can afford the maintenance or whatever, and sure, I'm pretty sure, like you said, the guy with the Rolls Royce, like, all that is fine. That is a thing. I'm not saying it's not a thing and it's not profitable, but to think that someone who's, like, again, this is a guy who's probably made over 40, his salary's public, but
hmm
who's probably made over 40, $50 million in less than 10 years.
yeah,
I don't even think he's played 10 years. And mentally, he's still, like, that's where he's at. Mentally, he's in a place as your buddy who has a Turo business.
yeah. Well, I think that, I mean, which I thought about this earlier. It's super important that um, as men, I don't just want to say just as men, but I think we tend to work out our exterior, right? Exercise our exterior, and then um, no exercise for our actual brain and thought process.
Mm-hmm.
So even though um, you're a grown adult that can probably bench 400 pounds or whatever, and run a 3 second, whatever, you're you're still, you may be just childlike in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that just might be with all things. It might be with um, in relationships and finances and all these different things. You're childlike because you didn't work out that part of your brain.
That muscle,
So,
yeah.
and this is why I think that's what this is why I say that, because that information is readily available through a scroll on Instagram, which is why I think he's regurgitating that same thing, right?
Exactly.
If you can get your financial advice easily accessible from a scroll on Instagram, and you make $8 to $10 million, that just lets me know that you didn't develop your brain muscle in the time that you were making, these millions of dollars, right? You still were able to work out successfully, go home, you know, be with your chick, scroll on Instagram and say, yeah, I need to be doing this. And when you have literal access, physical access to people who can actually tell you how to invest or teach you how to invest, or you have time to do it yourself. Like, basketball don't last all day.
He's already retired, and I think he's younger than us. He's been retired for like 3 years.
I'm saying for everyone, right?
Yeah, I'm just. I was
Your
just.
job is not all day. So if you go home
Mm,
all day and you go home and you scroll the internet for financial advice, right? Rather than pick up a book or these type of things, it just lets me know that we're all in the same flow and process, right? For most of us, of go to work, come home, be with your chick for a while or whatever, hang out, eat, and then you scroll, and then all your educational knowledge is coming from online media,
mm-hmm.
which is crazy, right? I prefer you after you scroll past Rich by Money, like the post, buy a shirt, close the app, and go read a book.
Man.
You can't be
Or
rich
in,
by
or in,
Monday by scrolling, Tuesday through Sunday.
even in his like in someone, and I just used him as an example. Like I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he seems like a great
No,
person.
I don't want to just pick on just
Um,
anybody, but
I don't think, but I don't
you.
even think we're picking on him. I think
Well, I'm not
that's
just
what
saying
needs
just
to
one
happen.
person.
Hmm.
I really because it's not about one person, right? I don't want to
It
limit it
is
to
though.
one person.
No,
It's
it is
it's
because that's the example that people follow because that's reinforcement. So
right,
say because you have a son, right? So you have a
but
son. There's going to be things you tell your son that he'll hear from you 100 times, but it'll take the one time from that guy to
but
throw his
see,
life away.
but what I want to do is though, when I teach my son, I'm teaching him to to I'm teaching my son. I'm not protecting him from the Ahmad Arbery or from this person or
Hmm.
that person, right? Because we can't just hit them down as they come up. Like, what's that game? A little bop game.
I
Um,
think that's what it's called, Bob.
yeah, bop game. So when the dumb stuff bop up and you bop it down. But so what I want my son to be able to distinguish the bullshit no matter in what form it comes to him.
Hmm.
So that's why I say it's not about this one person. It's about more so an ideology or a thought process of anybody who
Hmm.
comes. So I don't care what their name is. He should be able to distinguish the bullshit no matter what form it
From
shows
reality.
up. So that's why I say it's not just picking up on him. And he's the example, and that's why I do want to have uh, fundamental, like foundational examples. To say this is what we're talking about, just like this situation. So it kind of it grounds it for the
Hmm.
listener and grounds it for the conversation, so we know what we're talking about, and we can keep up. Um, but yeah, it's just not him. It's just the thought process behind a person like him or like
Hmm.
her or
Okay,
whoever
so
it is.
maybe. Okay, yeah, I see that. That might be what I meant to say.
Yeah, because
I
I
just
don't
like
want to
to.
just
Yeah.
be like, yeah, it's him. He's the enemy, and she's the enemy. It's like,
Well,
no, the
I
enemy
meant
is the
him.
ideology.
Yeah, I meant him because he's visible, but I didn't
Yeah,
mean it like him personally. It's just
right,
that
right. Of course, yeah, I get
him
that.
like the clip of him will be is what will get around. It's not
Right, right.
necessarily,
Yeah.
you know.
And now somebody
Um,
else is at home scrolling, watching him saying, "Yeah, we need to buy a Toro and
yeah,
rent a car on
because
Toro."
that would be me. Like when I was young, that'd be me. My mom and dad tell me all kind of stuff I didn't listen to,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then it wasn't until I was like 27 I was like, you know what, y'all was right.
yeah, yep, yep. You be thinking you know.
Yeah.
That's what sucks when you're young. You be thinking you know. You be thinking you know the whole time.
You think you got it figured out, but I just thought that was interesting, and because like his former teammate J.R. Smith did a very famous interview. Um, I can't remember what platform it was on, but I like their show. But he did a very famous interview where he talked about how like he didn't even realize how much money that they were making and blowing because
Yeah,
like when you're in those environments, I think
he
people don't understand is
he,
like
he didn't do his counting. You got to do that
everyone
counting.
everyone everyone around them is rich. So it's not like you know what I'm saying. It's not like you're the one person who did all right, and then you're still around normal people. You're
Yeah,
providing jobs and whatnot. Every day you're at work with somebody who makes the same or more than you. So if your car or your house costs $10 million, somebody has a house that costs $20 million.
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
mean, I didn't get to go. We did an event for well, we are gonna do like a influencer thing for Grand Marnier, where you drop off like influencer kits to people's
Mm-hmm.
house,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the houses was Dwayne Wade's house in Calabasas,
Mm-hmm.
and that house is $32 million.
Yeah, it's wild. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
So just think
See,
if you were on D Wade's team
AOC could have
and
just cashed out on that
there you
and
go.
been done.
If you were on D Wade's team and you like 24, you know what I'm saying? And like you have reality is not the same. You're dealing with people like who the money is just is
Well,
different.
see, let's bring it down. Like their reality is the same, right? Not the superstars to the everyday player, but let's just say two superstars spend the same amount of money, right? They go to
Hmm.
dinner and they blow $3,000 on on drinks and food, right?
Yeah.
It's normal for them.
Hmm.
So when I say let's bring it down, let's to the everyday person, right? Who's making average income is what is it, 51,000 a year or something like that. So say you got
54.
two household person making $100,000, and then they go spend $200 on dinner, $300 on dinner, right? With another couple who's also making the same amount. Um, those two people are also wilding out, you know. Those people are really like also wilding out, right? And you do that every other weekend, right? And you're spending, you know, you know, hundreds of dollars on eating out, eating, drinking out.
Yeah. Outside is expensive. Yeah.
Um, just relative to what how much you're actually making. Um, because I like to bring it down to the everyday person because we always look at the multimillionaires and say, look at all the money they're wasting. No, look at all the money you're wasting. Making your X amount of dollars a
Hmm.
year, and now you're going to Tulum. Spend $5,000 in Tulum,
Man, that was that PPP money,
which is
man.
like 10% of your income. So it's that type of thing. Where it's like come on, we all wild out at a certain level. So
everybody, everybody wilding.
everyone's absurd. Um,
Well, I brought up Jr. because he actually said something that, regardless of how much money he made, but he just said something to the extent of I didn't realize how like this is what we were doing. We could have done so much. Like we could have done so much more. That was actually the point I was trying to get to,
I think
but we got
everyone
lost.
thinks that after they spent the money about what the money they could have spent it on. But
Hmm.
the reality is you spent it on what you wanted to spend it on. It wasn't what you could
You
have
could
did.
tell.
It's what
Look,
it's what you wanted to do.
You could tell you are a father because it's, it's like no, no, you did what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I mean,
You
I
know.
tell myself that too. I'm like, dang, like I spent a lot of money on this and that. Like dang, all that money where it could have went. I could have
Hmm.
allocated that money to this and this and this. But no, I couldn't have because I wanted to spend it on that. You know,
Yeah.
and you asked a question about. I think you're saying like, why do we spend money on certain things? Um, and I think we spend money like that, like frivolously, because um, I think deep down we don't want other people to know how poor we really are, right? And it's more like a insecurity. So it's I don't want to I don't want people to know how poor I am about es- I don't want people to know how poor I am based on the aesthetic that I show.
Hmm.
So whatever you can do to not aesthetically look poor, we do. you know, and I think it is really it's more so about insecurities. Um, because if you was really insecure, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't care about what you were wearing and then what you were driving, what you were living in. Um,
Hmm.
but I think is you don't handle those insecurities, and you make sure that no one can see those insecurities just based on your aesthetic alone. You know, but People know. That's why I often say I'm poor, and it's not because I'm speaking into existence. It is my existence, right? It's not. It's
It is, mate.
people like, you shouldn't speak negative, positive. You should be speak positive. I also believe that you should be more centered in what's actually going on in your
Yes.
reality, and then you can make changes to make it positive, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying be down and out about your situation, but it's a reality. Like, it's numbers. Numbers are numbers, right? They were here before we were here. We found, like, we had to discover it, right? So it's you can't manipulate them. The number is the number.
Mm-hmm.
What you make in income and what's going out, it's you have your net. But so you can't lie. So what I want to say, you can't lie to the numbers. You can lie to yourself, but the number is what the number is. So it's like I'll see kids, they're like teenagers, maybe in their 20s, and they got all this fake gold on. And I know what gold look
And
like.
some of it be real sometimes,
I'm
which
talking
is
about
even
like your
crazier.
everyday kid that's in high school. They got fake watches, um,
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah,
gold
yeah.
change on and stuff. It's just your everyday person, right? Now, what is this 16-year-old? Who do he need to project to that he has money? Like, the reality. He knows the reality. Everybody around you knows the reality. But yet, you're still going to put on this aesthetic that you have more than what you have.
I think it varies
You
because I think it varies because some people are like I'm not really a jewelry person, but some people are. Some people are like that's just what they like. So they'll get their version of it until they can get like whatever it is. But they now why they like it could probably be
right?
wrapped up in the insecurities and whatnot. But I do think there are people who just like certain things.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
think
that they like to see themselves look a certain way.
so. I call that a frontage fact or a facade fact, right? And we talked about this before. It's yeah, that's true. That's the first fact is I wear this because I like it. Okay, great. All right, Lil, let's go behind that fact. What's behind that fact? Well, I wore this because I thought it would project a certain something to someone. Maybe it's a woman you're interested in, and she might like these things, or a cultural thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
My friends also like these things. They see me with it. Now I'm stamped with that cool, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
another fact.
Getting all the
And now,
hollers.
what's the fact behind that? The fact behind that is if you were to present yourself just as you are, um, you may not be as interesting. You may not be accepted in your friend group. So now what do you have to do? Now you have to actually be and grow as a person and create a personality. And not create a personality, but work on your personality, right? So it's like if you keep rolling back, it's not I like this. Oh, I like this. That's why I wear it. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, that's one fact. Yeah, that's just the front. Let's go. Let's go behind. Let's 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 peel back the layers of that facade and what is it really? And and I mean, you can go back as far as you feel comfortable, but you can't just bullshit me with the because I wear this because I like it,
No, I mean
right?
there
That's
are some
that's a
people
that's
who
an elementary error. That's an elementary answer, and
there are people who like that.
I know I'm
Like
talking to a person who who didn't put no thought into it, right? Because if you say, let's say you tell me, if you really like this thing, somebody probably might go further into it, right? You can tell me about the cut and the color and all these different things like this. I'm really really interested in this thing. Um, I mean, I get that too, but I also know there's layers behind that. Then I just like it. It's just how it is. It's cool. That's so trash. That's so trash. I'd rather you tell me like I don't know. It makes me feel good to wear this stuff. I feel like a king. It boosts my self esteem. I'm like,
I
okay,
mean,
cool.
wouldn't that be part of it? That I feel like that'd be part of it, even if they didn't like verbalize it that way. I feel like that would be like, cause if you do enjoy it or if you do like it, and then you put it on, I would assume it'd make you feel like it's some form of like validation. Like,
That's what I'm getting to. Like, what is it?
yeah,
But some people aren't going to go that route. They're going to say, I just like it. I like the way it's shiny. Like, bro, you got a whole brain. You stopped at it's shiny and not like it. You sound like a 3-year old. Like, come on, back to can we be adults about what is this?
no,
And that's
I see what you're
and
saying.
and that's and
I
then
see
we
what you're
talked about the conversation earlier about why I don't like why it's uninteresting to talk to certain people because they stop at I like this. This is shiny. I like it. And I'm just like, okay,
There's
I
no
can't. I
there's no
this is
taste.
this is a facade person I'm
Hmm.
talking to. This is a shell of a person.
A fake person
Yeah,
is I mean, it's an avatar.
yeah, they avatars,
Digital
AIs.
Michaela. Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I
but
get it. I get it. I mean, I don't know.
so I mean,
I've never been maybe because my parents weren't really into. I just didn't see it a lot, so maybe that's why.
yeah,
Like my mom has like rings and stuff, but no, I don't. My dad never wear. He never wore jewelry.
yeah. All the watches I have, um, they've all been gifts. Watches and even my jewelry too. I've never bought jewelry. That's why I have jewelry. I like it though. I like it. I like that it's shiny. It's shiny. I like it.
You an asshole. Dorance want everybody walk outside in the house. Walk outside the house wearing brown. And
Why
if
you
you
get
wear
that
blue,
brown
you
on?
if you wear blue, you insecure.
You wearing
Why
brown?
you like blue?
You got brown on. What's the meaning of brown? Can you tell me the meaning of brown?
So what's going on in the housing market, man, or with just real estate in general? How you thinking?
Um,
Cause you know they still trying to talk us into this recession.
I think it's finally, it's slowing down. I was talking to somebody at the party, and I was just saying this last 6 months been trash. It's just, the market's been running away crazy, and I personally didn't have the clientele who can just throw all kind of money down and um, additional money on the appraisal if it didn't appraise or not, waiving the
Mm.
appraisal. I didn't have those type of clients, so um, it was just trash. But now I'm starting to see it slowing down some, kind of stabling out. I haven't looked at the new numbers because it's only been like a month or two.
Mm-hmm.
But and then interest rates went up and that slowed down a lot. But I think it's gonna probably hold steady for a while. Um, I didn't read the report, but it said something about inflation was back at zero last month. I think. I didn't
Yeah,
read
but
into it though.
those numbers are like while they're like necessary. Something to keep in mind is like that they move the goalpost when they're measuring these things because like they measure it based on like certain factors, but then they'll eliminate certain things from the metric. So it's like because they'll try and say, oh, it's an anomaly, like
Hmm.
oh this doesn't count basically. So it's like oh,
Hmm.
which I understand for some things, like if you're looking at a list and it's like oh, cow hoofs are up 39%, like
Right.
yeah, of course,
Right.
but they eliminate a lot of different data from the actual number, so we'll never really get like
Hmm.
the true number.
Yeah.
Which honestly, inflation wasn't really. I know it was a big talking point. In my opinion, I don't even think it was really a big issue because we knew they were going to raise rates.
Yeah. For a few years.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean,
it
for
was
like
like,
2 years, we were saying like, get in now before rates go up. Then rates went up. We was like, oh my god, rates went up.
yeah, and it's like they told you they were gonna do that,
That was like the
and
talking point for 2 years though, or
they
the
told you,
motivation to buy now or lock in.
which still didn't really make. I mean, it makes sense from like a perspective of you lock in long term debt. So if you're someone who doesn't plan on moving and you were able to lock in debt like under 3%, you did an amazing job because
Right, right.
you're gonna hammer into that principle like really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I mean? It, it, you'll fly through that loan.
Mm-hmm.
I think even Drew, like when he bought his house, he got a 10 year, he got a 10 year fixed, um, at like 2 1/3 or something like that. It was something crazy.
Yeah.
Um, so they're gonna
I didn't
fly
really
through that.
did. I thought about the
Yeah.
15-year fix. I was being cheap though.
I thought I told when that was going on, I told my mom and them like I think y'all should look at a 15 because they were going at, I think from their credit union, they quoted them like 195 or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, you need to do that.
Yeah, for sure,
Like you need to do that.
for sure. But yeah, I
But
think
yeah, I mean, so that's just what it is.
I'm using the slowdown. I remember the slowdown before, but last time it was actually a crash. That was terrible,
Hmm.
and I wasn't able to adjust soon enough. But now I'm just focusing more on just building relationships, um, making the calls out to owners and just being a resource. I kind of know that what you do now, especially on the commercial side, is probably not going to manifest for a year later. So
Yes,
um,
or longer.
yeah, so at least minimum.
Yeah.
I'm getting my data together, and just focusing more on more niche. I'm getting more niche. So I used to be, yeah, I'll go anywhere. I'll go 2 hours in every direction. But now I'm just like I'm tired of running up and down the freeway, and I want to be more closer to home where I can do a local deal and be home for dinner, that type of thing, and not be out all late and crazy. Um, and just making it make my business more around me. So
Hmm.
um, I'll be getting more local, real local. Local politics. I don't want to know. I don't want to know everything that's going on. Who's in business with who, and
You
what's
have to,
going
man.
on.
It
Um,
helps.
so now that everything's open again, I need to really start. I mean, things been open, but I haven't been focusing on that part, which I did pre-pandemic a little bit. Um, but seeing who's who and volunteering with different companies and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm looking to get back to stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and just keep working, being consistent. Um, I started relying on motivation and just leaning more into consistency. And I remember last week I didn't have the motivation to do anything, and I did it anyway. And um, I think that was a huge change, and kind of how I handled things before. Where if I didn't feel like doing something, I would not do it or put it off or not do it to the best of my ability, that type of thing. So um, I've been leaning more into consistency. Like if it's on the schedule, to do it, and it's more so the things I don't want to do, right? The hard things,
Hmm.
doing those first. So that's been my thing, and
Yeah.
then just removing distractions, and impediments, like um like drinking during the week. And stop like Monday through Friday, no drinking. And then this last week, I just actually took it through the weekend. And I'm not saying I'm not drinking yet, but I'm saying I'm not not drinking at all anymore. But I'm saying I'm not drinking right now. So
You chilling. You just chilling right now.
yeah, and I've been in the gym for a while, so I think that's part of it too. If I'm out drinking, I don't feel good in the gym. Um, the next
Yeah.
time, or sometimes I might be recovering from
Yeah.
drinking and I miss the gym, or I'm recovering and I miss you know the next day or half the day. So it's just one of those type of things, like letting a lot of that shit go.
Yeah, first of all, where you be drinking at, and why am I not invited? If it's going up like that, like you recovering, you recovering. I'm over here with my daughter playing like astronaut video games, like, and you out here just turning up.
Man, man, for me, it's a party of one. It's fine with me. Um, but I think for me, it's more so. I'm so head down in the sand about things. I'm repressive about getting the work done, and then it's more like a release or relax.
Hmm.
Just too much. And I'm trying to teach myself how not to um, crave that dopamine of uh, to one not run away from the anxiety of like I need a drink to settle down, right? Like where
Hmm.
maybe after a long day I'll get home, just have a drink just to kind of like settle my nerves or settle the jitters, that type of thing. But what I'm doing is I'm trying to um, I'm suppressing the anxiety that I'm feeling, right? For lack of a better word, I'll just use anxiety
Hmm.
or that feeling where you up and you trying to get down. So I don't know what you want to call it, but that feeling of like, dang, I'm trying to get the day off of me, and I'm going to use a stimulant to do it. And it doesn't have to be alcohol; it can be whatever you're doing. Um, I'm trying to walk back from that and just exist in it and just be like, all right, well, it'll pass, and usually it do. I try to use more positive things, healthier choices to
Hmm.
relieve anxiety or that stress. So yeah, that's my new mission, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it worked.
Yeah, we shall see. That's part of not committing philosophical suicide. You go through those things. You're like, you know, I'm not gonna numb myself with acting like things are not happening. Or you're not feeling things.
I mean, I used to do that. I used to drink. I won't say a lot, but I did have a drink maybe like 2 or 3 times a week, which many people saw on this here podcast last season.
Right.
I was
Right.
probably drunk for like 10 episodes, but I don't know. I just got to a point where I was just like, I don't care. Maybe that's like what you were saying is like the anxiety. You're trying to bring the anxiety down, and then I got to a point where I was like, especially for work, because really that's where it was coming from, like just
Mm-hmm.
dumb shit at work, and then uncertainty too because of like the start of the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. Not knowing like, okay, how's this gonna affect my business?
Yep.
Am I even gonna go back to doing that? You know what I mean? Or
Right.
am I gonna be able to do that anymore? Like, then I gotta start another career all over again. Like,
Right. Right.
been here
Right.
before, like in '08, and so I think a lot
Mm-hmm.
of it was that. And I think ultimately I got tired of like the action of like that whole process of like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I got to do this, and then because you kind of realize like it's not really helping.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I realized like it wasn't really helping. It was just like I'm just doing something else,
Yeah.
like for the moment. Um, so I've kind of let a lot of that go, um, and I think just our experience in life and in business kind of helped me to let that go, knowing
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I've been through a period, because with commercial is different. While the real estate market was booming for residential, it was falling apart for commercial because you couldn't get
Mm-hmm.
loans.
Yep.
Um, and so it was like, well, it was like, I don't know. It was just weird. It was just weird. It was a weird space because deals would come up, deals would hit the market, but they never close because banks are like, even now banks are stress testing loans at like 7%. So that means if they for the listener, if they quote you, if you go buy a property, they quote you like a 5% rate, they're going to do like a worst case scenario situation on the property at a higher rate of 7%, which which means you have to then qualify at 7%,
Hmm.
like for that loan. And for some of these prices, this is not gonna happen. Like it's just not. It's not gonna happen. You're not gonna qualify at 7%. And you're buying a building that's with a cap rate under 4%. It's, it's at that point it's an all cash deal, which a lot of people just aren't. There's not that many people who are capable of doing that. So, um, so yeah, I just got to a point where I was just like, you know what, I'm not even gonna worry about it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna just chill. And maybe that's not the best thing. Maybe the best thing is to do something else. But I was just like, I'm not gonna worry about it. I
Hmm.
can't, because then you turn into an alcoholic.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, you drinking every day, like trying to trying to come down from that, like all that uncertainty and all this other stuff, and it's like nah.
yeah. I think you just delay. You delay. I think once you use any type of stimulant, you're kind of like delaying the shit you got to do. That's what's going on. That's what my experience is.
Mm-hmm. No,
You're
that's true. That's
delaying
what it is.
what you actually have to do. So you know you might you might say, oh, this is fun, this is relaxing, all those facade facts, but you really like,
I like it.
I'm not really. Yeah, I like it. I like the bottle is shiny. Uh, but I think it's more so you're delaying what you actually need to do, or what you need to tell yourself, right? So it's like a lot of the complaint, a lot of the thing has been, well, it's a pandemic, you know. It's kind of like it gave everybody, um, you know, I guess agency to be like, oh well, it's the pandemic, and you kind of see, even though we still in it, that excuse is still coming up to be like, oh well, it's a pandemic. So I think we gotta just I forgot where I was going with that. I forgot where I was going with that.
So how do we push through that? How do we like push through that and get to a point of like of balance,
I
of
think
like you know of just yeah of balance.
I think we gotta sit still. For me, what's working is to sit still, and feel the feelings, feel the anxiety, and then and not run from it, right? Not temporarily run from it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever your thing is, if it's liquor, drugs, going to work. Um, some people just go to work. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
was
gonna
me.
work. I'm gonna go to
That was
work.
me.
I think it was I'm not a, I don't know. Don't quote me, but I think it was a guy in the Bible, like his kid had died that same day, and then it said, yeah, your baby died, and he was like, all right, well, I gotta go to work. Like that's the ultimate
Wait,
delay of like.
what's hilarious is if like now I'm gonna look in the Bible to see if it's worded that exact same way.
That's
Like, I gotta
the
go to work.
King Creighton version. The King
Your baby died.
simplified
Oh,
Creighton
I gotta go
version.
to work.
Baby
But like,
died, I
yeah,
gotta
you're
go to
right.
work. But it was very telling on especially how men work, right? So if whatever you're using, if it's liquor, drugs, going to work, sex, all these different things to get away from feeling the things that's happening, and then figuring out what you're feeling, and then figuring out a plan to get out of it, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
replacing that short escape for something else that's more healthy, right? Um, Whatever that might be for you. I think that's where we start. And um, for me, where it started was realizing what was going on, like realizing you're in the cycle. To be like, hold on, and going back to like, I'm not drinking because I like it and it's fun. Yeah, that's part of it. That's the beginning of it. but what is it really? So you kind of go through that process. That's what helped for me. And then when you realize it, you're like, okay, then you have a chance, you have a choice to change it, to say, okay, am I going to change this, or am I going to just keep having fun and just living with the fact that the frontage fact, the number one, that is fun, and just
Yeah.
live my life like that. You got to decide. And then the cold part is, if you look around yourself and people around you, um, you can tell the people who didn't do that work because they just up in age. They're doing the same thing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they're in 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and they still in the same cycle, going home, off work, drinking, um, getting off work, chasing women, uh, doing all these different things. And you can kind of see that, you're in a cycle. You're in a cycle. So um, recognizing it is number one. And then, like, okay, what the hell am I going to do about this? That's
Yeah,
number
that
two.
makes sense.
And then really acting out that plan.
That
So I
makes
don't
sense.
know. I think if you was in the pandemic, we're still in the pandemic, but in the beginning of it, it was either you just ignore it and just live your life, or you had time to really reflect and figure out what you want to do, what you want to do differently. And I put a
Yeah.
lot of that off
Oh yeah, I
because
played a lot of Call of
it was
Duty.
fun. Yeah, it was fun.
I played a lot of Call of Duty, and then one day I was like, you know what it was? I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was, because I don't play with a mic. Well, I have one when I talk to y'all, but I don't play with a
Mm,
mic when I'm playing other people.
right.
And I remember one day I was playing, and it was like late. It was late at night, and I was killing. I'm feeling good about myself.
Hmm.
Whatever. I'm like, yeah, this is dope. I'm smashing.
Right.
Uh, and then I heard the voice of one of the people who I was playing against, and it was a kid.
Right.
And after that, I was like, you know what? What am I doing? Like, what am I doing? What am I doing to myself? Like,
Right.
because this is a child. Like, I'm playing with children,
Hmm.
and I don't need to be. Not that one shouldn't be able to play games or whatever. It was just that the amount of time that I was putting into it, um, just from being out of the loop, out of
Hmm.
my personal loop. Because I've always been. I remember me and Vita talked about it one day. Um, because the whole work from home thing and all that is kind of like it doesn't work for me at all, which is why I just don't do it.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
and I was like, I've always been the person that like to just up and go. I could always just up and go, no matter what. Like wake up tomorrow and we go. And like now you can't do that no more.
Hmm.
And and so like you said, it was like putting you're kind of like delaying delaying that realization. You're kicking it down the road,
Hmm.
and it hit me in that moment.
Mm.
Like which is also something you said in the Lost episode where you were like you have to come to terms with like the way life was before was a different life. Like you're not the same
Right.
person no more. Like it's nothing is the same no more. You're different now.
Yeah. Yeah. That I was probably like maybe 6 months in, maybe like nine, maybe 10 months in, and then it hit me. I was like, you know what? You got this feeling that if we can just get back to normal, we can get back to
Yeah.
normal. Like, okay, if we just do this, and this we can get back to normal. And then it just hit me like we'll never get back. We'll never get back.
Mhm.
Um, that life is dead. Like the person I was is gone. I'm no longer that person anymore. So now I'm just left to rebuild something else. And that was my last mistake in the last, I would just call it a downturn, or in 2008, 2009, around that time, where you're doing something a certain way and it shifts on you. Life shifts, and you keep trying to do it that same way, um, to your own demise,
Mhm.
because things aren't the same anymore. And you have to build something new. You have to build something new. And I thought I was doing that, and I was doing to it a certain extent. No, I wasn't bringing any, but building anything new. I was just smashing through with what I knew, right? And that was just
Mm-hmm.
like to get deals closed, and I closed, a good amount of deals. But then after that pipeline was gone, I'm like, all right, like it was a lot of putting things off, a lot of just having fun and wasting money and that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I'm like, okay, pipeline's still not cracking. I gotta build. Like I gotta rebuild. So it's like, well, how do I want to rebuild it? Like, what do I want it to look like? Where do I want to work? What type of business? What type of people I want to do business with? And then I start slowly building. Like, okay, but if that's all gone, what do I want? What do I want? And then now I can start building my life out. But
Mm-hmm.
that takes time. It takes time to build something new. And then because if
Mm-hmm.
you're building something new, that means you gotta reject anything old that comes back. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not doing a deal in
Yeah.
Barstow. I can't do it. I got to refer it out. That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no, I can't go out. I don't know. I got to go to the gym early in the morning. I can't be out drinking all night. That type of thing. I got to be up early. So you start releasing and letting that old part go, and you can't go back to it because you'd be back in the cycle again, and then it starts all over. And it's like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be doing this until I'm 70. You know,
Yeah.
if
No,
I
that's
can't
real.
if I can't realize the cycle, if I can't realize the cycle, stop the cycle, and do something differently, I'm just going to continue to live in it. Like there's no other option.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That was kind of where that's kind of where I was currently am. It's my existence.
right. I'm
And
currently poor.
currently, I mean, because there are a few deals that I'm working on, but it's like I don't know, I don't know. And then like I got my license expires in October, so I have to I'm just gonna take the broker's exam just to take it, like
Mm,
because it makes sense.
right.
But I don't know, man. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
I'll
it,
figure it
it
out.
takes a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time too. And usually like it's like one thing, like one change. It's like, all right, I'm drinking
Nah, the whole
two
life
bottles of
changed. Like genuine. My whole life
uh,
has changed. That all
right.
like
Right. I'm talking in terms of like someone saying, I want my life to be different. Like I'm going to now drink water. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to not eat out. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to run. I'm going to jump rope. It's like, no, you're not going to do all that on Monday. You're not. Why don't you start with, I'm going to drink, maybe I've been drinking 0 bottles of water. Now I'm going to drink 3 this week every day.
No, that you know what?
And
That's
then once
healthy
you get
though.
into,
That's
once you
healthy.
get into, once you've been doing that, 2 weeks straight, then you can say, okay, now I'm gonna go to the gym. You're not gonna go to the gym and do 2 hours 5 days a week. No, you ain't gonna do that.
See,
You
right
gotta
now you're
do
talking to me.
you gotta do 20 minutes.
You're talking to me
And
right now.
then you gotta roll it back. You gotta do 10 push-ups. I would do 10 push-ups every day for 5 days. I'm telling you, this is how I did it. You know, little bit at a time. Like, all right, I've been doing. I remember at one time I was doing my 100 push-ups a day. I was just doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't at the gym. I was like, all right, I'm just do this. Um, and then it rolls into, all right, now I'm gonna get a gym membership and I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna do this workout. I sent y'all that workout, the big ass chest workout. You want a big ass chest, and that workout is crazy. So it's like you're not gonna do 4 sets and superset everything. No, you better do 2 sets. And you better go 2 days a week because you're gonna need 3 to rest because that's just gonna kill
Mm-hmm.
you. Then you work
Mm-hmm.
yourself up. So like that's how I've been doing everything. I've been doing things like that, like adding one. So now if you kept your water up and you kept your push-ups up, and now you're doing 20 minutes of walking, and now you're at the gym 30 minutes, it's compounding. Like I'm using the compounding effect now in my life. I know me as a person, I can't just wake up tomorrow and do everything perfectly the way I want. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like I use the compound effect now, where it's like, okay, now I'm drinking water. I've been doing that for a month. Now I'm going to the gym. Been doing that for it's been 3 months, 3 4 months, or something like that. Now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop drinking. So I'm not like trying to do all these things at the same time, but I'm compounding them on one or another because I want lasting results. I don't want to just be on for 6 months, and I've been eating, you know, um, chicken with no seasoning and broccoli for 6 months. Like I'm not gonna keep that up. Like that's not sustainable. Like I need a sustainable life that changes like over a lifetime. Like
Eating naked chicken.
sustainability. You know?
Eating that naked chicken.
Yeah, I ain't
Naked
doing
chicken and
that.
rice. Yeah.
So
No, I mean
so
all
that's
that
been a
is
new.
real. All that is true. That's the plan. You know what we should do? We should put together some kind of like a I forgot. I don't know what the word is. I'm looking for it, but something that people can follow, like a plan. But there's a word for it. I can't think of it right now. But like things that you can kind of like things we talked about now, things that we could put down and people can actually practice in the real world, like to help
Hmm.
stay centered. You know what I mean? Like,
It's funny you said
you
that. I
know,
thought about that today. It's more so like in like a checklist. I've been doing a checklist,
yeah, I've seen that. I peeped that.
but
That maybe is that the word? I don't know if that's the word. That might be
I
it.
guess I guess checklists
But
or
like
things to
something you
do.
can just like you can recenter yourself or like just something to like in moments where you might be feeling the anxiety kicking in, or you might be feeling something kicking in, or whatever it is that you're going through. You just revert back to that. Like, okay, you know, let me tap into this and make sure I did what I need to do for me.
Right, right. Yeah, one
You
hundred
know.
percent. That's um I call it and I learned this from I don't know if we got time to talk about it. Yeah, it's quick. I learned this from my last broker I worked with, Julio Cardenas, and he explained it as um, bricks and mortar in
Mm-hmm.
terms of your scheduling. So he explained it as I don't know who he got it from. I don't know if he made it up, but the bricks are the things that are immovable in your schedule, right? So the bricks, example for my bricks would be going to the gym, making my I do like 50 calls now, and drinking my water, right? Just for example, those are my bricks, right? Those are my immovable things I have to get done for that day. Then the mortar around that is my other schedule, right? Other things in my
Mm-hmm.
schedule that I might need to do. Um, I might need to, I don't know, clean the dishes, or maybe I got to clean the bathroom or fold some clothes, whatever it is, right? But it's the mortar. So in other words, you may be able to wash or fold the clothes early in the morning. You may be able to do it at night, but it can be moved around. But the bricks can't be moved, right? The
Mm-hmm.
bricks have to be done. So I have to go to the gym, right? I have to make those calls. I I have to drink the water. I have to get an offer out or whatever, right? So whatever those bricks are for those days, and it's usually I suggest to do three, right? You don't want 10 bricks. Like you're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do all those bricks. I suggest three. So for something like Rich by Monday, you might just do a post like that where you have you just make three of your bricks. Whatever you're gonna do for that week, and you do it that 5 days that week. And maybe we let people just fill it in. Maybe it's blank. We fill ours in like this is what I'm doing this week, and then once you doing it that week, let's say you at the gym, like tag us. You got your brick done. You know, tag Rich
Yeah,
by
I like that.
Monday.
Got your
Let us
brick.
know what you're working on, and then it's I think it's more like a community aspect. To be
I
like,
have an
oh,
idea.
okay, yeah,
We're selling Rich by Monday bricks.
right. You leave it to the capitalists, the super capitalists.
Yo, we finna give y'all some blue bricks,
Right.
and you can take pictures with them and tag us
I would
in
have
the
it on my
post.
desk though. I would do that.
That'd be dope, right?
That was actually um
Didn't we do that before?
yeah, that was a that was I was just gonna say that. That was at one of the retreats, the boss retreats.
Oh, okay.
It was a break activity. I don't think I was there though. I think I got there late.
Mm, something like that. Oh yeah. I think you. Yeah. I remember
Yeah.
now. You didn't. You yeah. But yeah, that's dope. So yeah, we could do that. Let's I don't know. Let's try to put it together so we can get it out to people in some fashion. We want to leave it blank and then just have people tag us.
Yeah, I think
Like,
leave it blank because I don't know if people want to drink a gallon of water every day or they might want to
just pick the three. Like, pick your three
yeah
things for
like
the
three
week,
things you're gonna do every day, 5 days a week. You
and
know,
then
I'm gonna
show
go
us
on
the
a
brick.
walk. You know,
Show us the brick by like Friday or something.
right?
All right. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. We're gonna do that.
Yeah, we'll set that up.
All right.
All right.
So yeah, I
So to
think
wrap us up, we
yeah, I
we
think that's
we kind of
I think
going
that's
over.
it, man. Um, yeah. So shout out to y'all for tuning in to another episode. Sorry for the delay. It's all my fault. I'll take full responsibility because I forgot all my equipment every single day we were supposed to record.
Right.
So yeah, we look forward to you know seeing y'all next week. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all that. Let the algorithm know you like the show. If you want to add something to the conversation, drop it in the comments. Shout out to the homie LeVar. He's going backwards right now. I don't know if you noticed, but LV is going backwards and watching all the shows.
Right. All right.
And
Cool.
he's been commenting like
Yeah,
on
we
the shows, but
appreciate you.
like
We appreciate you.
in backwards order. So that was dope.
Right. I'm like I forgot what
Um,
happened on those episodes.
it was, you're gonna get a reminder because
Right. I
he
don't believe
watching
you
them.
said that. I'm like, oh, it was a pandemic.
um, yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, do all that good YouTube stuff. Make sure you go to richbymonday.com, get your merch, and we'll see y'all next week.